All right, thanks, guys. We went 2-0 yesterday in our NFL premium selections on patreon.com/Brock Page. We're also 8-4 in our last dozen board member package plays on that website. And we're hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that site as well. Link for that site is in the description section below. That is patreon.com/Brock Page. Cleveland takes on the Knicks, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks are -2 at home, totals 209. We saw a 1.5 point fade of New York and movement downward on the total. The Knicks open 3.5 down to -2. Total open 211 down to 209. 63% of the consensus are leaning toward the Knicks. 81% are shaded toward the over. Right now, Cleveland's plus $1.10 on the money line. Cleveland's 8-4 against the spread overall for the year, 5-1 against the spread when traveling. They rank in the top 10 in points allowed, top 3 in offensive rebounding on the road. Kevin Love is averaging 12 rebounds, 18 points, and 1 steal a game. Tristan Thompson is bringing down 11 boards per game, 15 points for him. And Colin Sexton is averaging 18 points per contest, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Cleveland ranks in the top 5 in road free throw percentage, top 3 in points allowed on the road, top 3 in defensive field goal percentage on the road as well. Now, Henson and Nance are listed as questionable for tonight's action. The Knicks on the other side failed to cover in 3 out of their last 4. They're just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 as well. They're 3-10 straight up overall for the season, last place in the Atlantic Division, 3-8 straight up as the underdog. The Knicks rank in the bottom 3 in scoring, bottom 3 in field goal percentage, bottom 3 from the stripe. Bullock and Payton are out tonight. The Knicks are 10-3 to the under on the year, 6-0 to the under at home. Cleveland is 5-1 to the under when traveling. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me the Cavs +2 and the under 209 in that game. Next matchup, Hornets, Raptors, 7:30 Toronto. The Raptors are -9, totals 215.5. We saw a 1 point fade of Toronto and movement downward on the total. The Raptors open -10 down to -9. Total open 217 down to 215.5. 61% are leaning Raptors. 73% shaded toward the over. Right now the Hornets are plus 375 on the money line. Charlotte's 8-5 against the spread overall for the year. They've also successfully covered the number in 5 out of their 6 games on the road. They rank in the top 3 in 3-point percentage, top 10 in points allowed on the road, top 10 in defensive rebounding on the road as well. Devontae Graham is averaging 19 points a game, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. He's also averaging 1 steal a game. Terry Rozier is averaging 17 points a game, 5 assists, 1 steal as well. And Big Cody Zeller, 12 points a game, 9 rebounds. Charlotte has won their last 2 straight. They're also 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. Toronto on the other side lost 2 out of their last 3. They also failed to cover in 4 out of their last 7. They rank in the bottom 3 in defensive rebounding, bottom 3 in defending the 3-ball at home, and they're in the bottom 10 in home offensive rebounding. Now, Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka are out for tonight's action. Total-wise, Toronto 3-3 to the over in their last 6, 75% to the over at home. The Hornets on the other side, 2-2 to the over in their last 4. I'm going to lean toward the road dog covering the spread. Give me Charlotte +9 and the over 215.5 in that game. Next matchup, Pacers, Nets, 7:30 Brooklyn. The Nets are -4.5, total 221 and a hook. We saw a 0.5 point move toward Brooklyn and movement downward on the total. The Nets open 4 up to -4.5, total open 222 down to 221.5. 57% are leaning Pacers, and at the moment, Indiana's +160 on the money line. The Pacers are just 5-8 against the spread overall for the year, 2-4 ATS on the road. Lamb, McConnell, and Sabonis are questionable for tonight's action. Malcolm Brogdon is listed as out, and of course Oladipo is out indefinitely still. Indiana ranks in the bottom 10 in scoring, bottom 10 in offensive rebounds at home. Brooklyn on the other side, they rank in the top 5 in scoring on average per game, top 5 in offensive rebounding as well. Kyrie Irving is averaging 29 points a game, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Spencer Dinwiddie is averaging 18 points a game, 5 assists as well. And big DeAndre Jordan is bringing down 10 rebounds a game, 7 points a game he's averaging as well. Now, Karis LeVert is out. Kyrie Irving is listed as questionable. That said, though, Brooklyn is 5-3 against the spread in their last 8. Now, total-wise, Brooklyn 4-2 to the over in their last 6. They're also 60% to the over at home this year. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Brooklyn -4 and the over 221.5 in that game. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the show. Got some lines of personal leans out for Monday's NBA action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went 2-0 in our premium NFL selections yesterday on that website. We're also 8-4 in our last dozen board member package plays, and we're hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website. Now, a lot of folks will ask me, what's the difference between Patreon and what you do right here on YouTube? What we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. Now, if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game, side, and total in real life, you're guaranteed to lose in the long run. The bookies are too smart. They're too good. The math is always against you. You're not going to win. It's impossible. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and dial it in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're personal selections of mine, games that I personally have action on. My current record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube, handicapping every game. And you can actually check out my current record for free right now. All you have to do is click the link in the description section below. That's patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some more free lines of personal leans right here on YouTube. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got the Blazers taking on the Rockets, and that's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Houston. The Rockets are -6.5, total 231 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Houston and movement downward on the total. The Rockets opened 6, up to -6.5. Total opened 232.5, down to 231 and a hook. 61% are leaning Houston, 70% shaded toward the over. Right now, Portland is +230 on the money line. Portland's just 5-8 straight up on the year. Last place in the Northwest Division, 4.5 games back of the division lead. They rank in the bottom 10 in field goal percentage, bottom 5 in defensive rebounding. Joseph Nurkic and Zach Collins still out for the Blazers. Now, Houston on the other side, they're red hot right now. 7-game winning streak, 7-0 straight up in their last 7, 6-1 against the spread in those 7 games. James Harden's averaging 40 points a game, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 steals. Russell Westbrook's averaging 21 a game, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 steals himself. And big Clint Capella, he's bringing down 13 rebounds a game, 2 blocks. He's also averaging 13 points per contest as well. Now, the Rockets rank in the top 3 in scoring, top 10 in offensive rebounding at home. Clint Capella and House have been upgraded to probable, so it looks like they're going to play tonight. Now, total-wise, Houston 8-1 to the under in their last 9. Portland 3-3 to the under in their last 6. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Houston -6 and the under 231.5 in that game. Next matchup, Bucks, Bulls, 8 o'clock Chicago. The Bucks are -7.5, total 229 and a hook. We saw a half a point move toward Milwaukee and movement downward on the total. The Bucks opened 7, up to 7.5, total open 231, down to 229 and a hook. 67% are leaning Milwaukee, 53% shaded toward the under. Right now, the Bulls are +255 on the money line. Chicago's just 4-9 straight up for the season, 4th place in the Central Division. They're already 5.5 games back of the division lead. They lost their last 2 straight games, and they're just 3-7 straight up in their last 10. Chicago ranks in the bottom 5 in field goal percentage, bottom 10 in three-point percentage. They're also in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding. Porter and Felicio are out for tonight's action. Zach LaVine is banged up too. He's listed as questionable for the Bulls. Now, the Bucks on the other side, they rank in the top 3 in scoring, top 3 in offensive rebounding, top 5 in field goal percentage. Giannis Antetokounmpo, 30 points a game, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 blocks for him. Chris Middleton, 19 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1 steal. And Eric Bledsoe is averaging 17 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Milwaukee's first place in the Central Division, 2.5 games of Indiana in that division, 6-2 straight up when traveling. Chris Middleton is listed as questionable for tonight's action. Now, total-wise, Milwaukee's 5-3 to the under when traveling, 5-4 to the under in their last 9 at any location. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take the Bucks -7 and the under 229.5 in that game. Next matchup, Spurs, Mavericks, 8:30 Dallas. The Mavs are minus 4.5, total 224 and a hook. We saw a half a point fade of Dallas and movement downward on the total. The Mavs open 5, down to minus 4.5. Total open 225, down to 224 and a hook. 52% are leaning Dallas, 56% shaded toward the under. Right now the Spurs are plus 165 on the money line. Spurs are also just 5-8 straight up on the year, 3-10 against the spread. They're 5 games back for the division lead, just 1-7 straight up in their last 8. They're ranked in the bottom 10 in points allowed, bottom 10 in defensive field goal percentage. The Spurs have also dropped 4 out of their last 5 on the road, 0-4 straight up as the dog this year. Now Dallas on the other side, 4-3 straight up in their last 7. 7-5 straight up overall for the year. Second place in the Southwest Division. They rank in the top 10 in scoring, top 3 in offensive rebounding. Luka Doncic, 29 points a game, 11 boards, 9 assists. Kristaps Porzingis is averaging 19 a game, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Dallas ranks in the top 5 in home offensive rebounding, 5-3 straight up when favored. And total-wise, Dallas is 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games, 60% to the under in their last 5. I'm going to buy the hook, slide it down, and take Dallas minus 4 and the under 224.5 in that game. Next matchup, Timberwolves, Jazz, 9 o'clock, Utah. The Jazz are laying 10 points, totals 219.5. We saw a half a point move toward Utah and movement upward on the total. The Jazz opened 9.5 up to minus 10. Total opened 219 up to 219 and a hook. 59% are leaning Utah, 80% shaded toward the under. Right now, Minnesota's plus 385 on the money line. The T-Wolves are just 6-7 against the spread for the year, 3-5 straight up in their last 8 games. They rank in the bottom 5 in three-point percentage, bottom 10 in points allowed, bottom 3 in defending the 3-ball. A couple more disparaging things about Minnesota. They rank in the bottom 10 in defensive rebounding, bottom 3 in defending the 3-ball at home. Napier's out, Wiggins is doubtful. The Jazz on the other side, nice little 6-game winning streak at home. And as a matter of fact, they're undefeated for the entire season at home. 6-0 straight up in front of their home crowd. 4-1 straight up in their last 5 games at any location. Don Mitchell, 25 points a game, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Bojan Bogdanovic, 20 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1 steal for him. And big Rudy Gobert, he's averaging 14 rebounds a game, 14 points, and 2 blocks. Utah ranks in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage at home. Top 10 in offensive three-point percentage at home as well. A couple more things to add about Utah. They're in the top 3 in points allowed, top 10 in defensive rebounding. When it comes to this total, Utah is 60% to the over in their last 5. Minnesota 7-2 to the over in their last 9. I'm going to lean toward the home chalk. Very square play here. Give me Utah minus 10 and the over 219.5 in that game. Next matchup, Celtics, Suns, 9 o'clock, Phoenix. The Suns are 2.5, total 227. We saw a half a point move toward Phoenix and movement downward on the total. The Suns open minus 2, up to minus 2.5. Total open 227.5, down to 227. 60% are leaning Boston, and at the moment the Celtics are plus 120 on the money line. Now the Celtics have failed to cover the point spread in their last 3 straight. They're just 3-4 against the spread on the road this year. They rank in the bottom 5 in defensive rebounding, bottom 3 in defending. Bottom 3 in defensive rebounding on the road as well. Gordon Hayward is out. Meanwhile, Phoenix on the other side successfully covered the number in 8 out of their last 10. They're in second place in the Pacific Division, 6-2 against the spread at home, top 5 in scoring, top 3 in field goal percentage. Devin Booker's averaging 26 points a game, 6 assists. Kelly Oubre, 17 points a game, 6 rebounds for him. And Ricky Rubio's averaging 14 points a game, 6 rebounds, 9 assists. The Suns are 4-1 straight up when favored, top 10 in defensive rebounding, top 5 in home 3-point percentage. When it comes to the total, Phoenix is 6-5 to the under for the year. Boston 2-0 to the under in their last couple of games, 5-2 to the under when traveling. I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Phoenix minus 2 and the under 227 in that game. And we're going to slide into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be OKC taking on the Clippers, 10:30 Eastern tip-off in Los Angeles. The Clippers are minus 8.5, total 220 and a hook. We saw a half a point fade of LA and movement upward on the total. The Clippers open 9, down to 8.5. Total open 219.5, up to 220 and a hook. 81% are leaning Clippers. And at the moment, the Thunder are plus 355 on the money line. Now, OKC is 7-5 against the spread overall for the year. They covered 60% of their games in their last 10. They rank in the top 10 in three-point percentage, top 10 in points allowed. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is averaging 20 points a game, 6 rebounds, 1 steal. Danilo Gallinari is averaging 19 points a game, 5 rebounds. Big Steven Adams, he's bringing down 9 rebounds a game. He's averaging 1 block. Roberson's still out. Diallo's questionable. The Clippers, on the other side, have lost 2 out of their last 3. They also failed to cover in 2 out of those 3 games. Kawhi and Beverly are questionable. Landry Shamet's out. The Clippers rank in the bottom 10 in defending the 3-ball. They also rank in the bottom 10 in three-point percentage at home. Now, total-wise, the Clippers are 8-5 to the under. They're also 6-2 to the under at home. I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take OKC plus 9 and the under 220.5 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into our quick pick recap brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we went 2-0 in our NFL selections yesterday. We're also 8-4 in our last 12 board member package plays. I like OKC plus 9, under 220.5. Utah minus 10, over 219 and a hook. Phoenix minus 2, under 227. Dallas minus 4, under 224.5. Houston minus 6, under 231.5. Milwaukee minus 7, under 229 and a hook. Brooklyn minus 4, over 221.5. Charlotte plus 9, over 215 and a hook. And last but certainly not least, I like Cleveland plus 2 and the under 209 in that game. All right, let's go ahead and dive into some shout-outs. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage. Shout out to James Sanders, Totten DX, Joe Me the Money, Davin McCray, Level Up, Get a King, Markinson, Angerville. Shout out to Will Surf, Ninja Chris, Big Vegas 05, Jim Tazzies, Ronnie Christie, Band Up V, Mr. Miami, and last but certainly not least, shout out to Square 707 Steam PS4. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on Patreon. We went 2-0 in our NFL package plays yesterday. We're also 8-4 in our last 12 board member package plays on that site. And we're hitting at 65% for the entire college football season on that website. We do daily premium selections on that site beginning at just $1.99 per month. We have a bunch of different memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of folks ask me what's the difference between your YouTube program right here on YouTube and your Patreon page. But what we do here on YouTube is we handicap every single game on the board, both the side and the total. And if you were to do that in real life, if you were to bet your hard-earned money on every single game, side and total, you're going to lose your money in the long run. And it might not even be the long run. It could be very quickly. The books are too good. They're too smart. The math is always against you. You cannot bet every single game and win. You just can't do it. So what we do on Patreon is we really narrow it down and dial it in on 3 to 4 premium selections per day. They're personal selections of mine. They're high percentage selections, games that I personally have action on. And I'll tell you this much. My current record on Patreon is a lot better than it is on YouTube handicapping every single game. You can check out my current record for free right now. All you got to do is click the link in the description section below. That is patreon.com/BrockPage. All right, let's go ahead and slip into our quick pick recap, our Spanish version. Edición en Español. Yo tengo OKC con puntos y los bajos, Utah menos 10 y las altas, Phoenix menos 2 y las bajos, Dallas menos 4 y los bajos, Houston menos 6 y los bajos, Milwaukee menos 7 y los bajos, Brooklyn menos 4 y las altas, Charlotte con puntos y las altas, y finally Cleveland con puntos y los bajos. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Monday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you on patreon.com/BrockPage.